Good afternoon from Memorial Sloan Kettering. This is my 47th chemo infusion, and this is an episode of pulling back the curtain on chemo and cancer. That is Kira K. Gets all the credit for that. I love it, both metaphorically, literally, and metaphorically. And I wanted to just get you all maybe reflecting a little bit today. Oh, first I'll just show you. Here's my chemo. And that is cisplatin. I've already had the gemcitabine, and this is my little port, which is an amazing, amazing thing, which is where the chemo goes in, and it goes directly into the jugular vein. Before having this, it would go into the veins in my arms, and the nurses would have to stick me every time I came, and then gemcitabine actually burns the veins. So when it goes into this sort of super highway vein, I don't feel the burn. So it's kind of beautiful. So back to priorities. So, I mean, we all are challenged, I think. When we look at time management, like in the coaching world, it really consists of priorities. And basically, people that are overscheduled and over-involved and type A and we basically have too many priorities. And Oliver Burkeman said it really well. There's 4,000 weeks that we get in life. And how are we going to design those, right? Recognizing that there's limited time here. So priorities is something that has, I've had to give a lot of thought to, because I am on chemo or some, similar treatment for the rest of my life, because my tumor is inoperable. And this is the way that the tumor can be stabilized to prevent further growth, which would then shut off my liver function. So, gratitude out to my liver for doing such a good job when it's under attack by this big tumor. But back to priorities. So I have 2 weeks on, 1 week off with chemo, and it comes with tons of different side effects, some of which are more annoying and some of which can be really debilitating. So it's like tinnitus, neuropathy, cognitive decline, which I think also just comes with, getting older. But mostly neutropenia, which is low immunity, and fevers that come from that. And every time you get a fever, you need to go get it checked out to make sure that you're not, having an infection. So being immunocompromised, that's just part of it. And so what that means is that when I was first diagnosed, I had pretty recently launched my new coaching career. We got some good stuff going on next door there. And I had to learn very quickly that I had to be very intentional about setting my priorities. So one of my priorities is work. And for that reason, when in my last position at the Security Council, I was actually at the same time training up to become an executive coach, because I knew that what I wanted in my life was to help engage in assisting for more meaningful and lasting change, starting at the heart of organizations through their leaders. So coaching, I'm so humbled now to be able to coach amazing leaders worldwide that are leading some of the organizations that I've had the pleasure of being part of throughout my life, whether it be multilateral, intergovernmental, non-governmental think tanks, etc., and just to help them walk their talk. And I think, as we know, the leader in any organization has obviously an outsized impact on the culture. So I think that this to me is super meaningful, but the way that I have to do it is different. I need to be less diffuse. In my previous life, I was doing 3 million things at once, maybe not being as focused. Now what I do requires quality of presence, and it also requires me making the time in my life to do the other things that are important to me, right? Including, joy, adventure, connection with others, etc. So yeah, I'm just wondering for you, when I was in my pre-cancer journey, I feel like I would always have a to-do list, and then I would get at the office and there'd be thousands of other things, and I just felt like I was never on top of it. It just was this constant sort of battle. And, maybe it's taking a little bit of thinking into your life of, I'd never want this to happen, but what would a terminal diagnosis do for you in helping you fine-tune what your priorities are, to be able to just be true to those, because they do reflect your values. So that's a good question, is sort of what would I do if I had 5 years to live? And it's not like you completely radically change your life, because to be quite honest, we all plan because it's normal, because most people can count on, decades and decades hence. But is there a small thing that you can bring forward from that, from sort of something that you would like to have done? Is there, a dream unexplored? Is there an alternative career? Is there travel that you want to do? Is there a connection? Like, whatever that is, what are you waiting for? So for me, in addition to my work, travel and adventure has been super important. I thought that I would be done with it after spending my life doing that and living in countries and learning languages. So having been to 80 countries, I was like, I don't really need to visit any others. But since getting diagnosed, I've been to like 8 countries. I've been deep sea scuba diving. I've jumped out of a plane at 12,000 feet, gone hiking at 11,000 feet, paraglided from one country to another. And I love this kind of adventure. And my chemo breaks give me just enough time to be able to do that with the people that I love. And so my upcoming break, I'm going to be in the Nevada, the Nevada desert near Reno at Burning Man. And I'm so excited to see how my survival skills might still be existent from working earlier in war zones and conflict situations. So that's something that brings a lot of meaning to my life. And yeah, that's basically what I'm asking today is, what are your values, and are you able to be living those? And what are you putting off? And is it something that you could write in some way in the next week, months, or year? Sending you tons and tons of love.